My name is Astrid Köppe. I'm a visual artist. Among other things, I make vitreous enamel. This is one of them. So the plan is to produce something like that, just large scale. So basically this is vitreous enamel. So we have sheet steel with layers of colored glass, so to speak. What I'm planning to do is a 6-piece vitreous enamel for a public art commission, and it's for a place called Kieztreff Kastanie. Kastanie is the German word for chestnut. What I'm planning here is to do a piece that includes sort of chestnut leaves or chestnutty shapes. And that's what I'm trying out here. I've looked up chestnut leaves on the internet to make sure that I really use the proper shape. And now I'm sort of trying to do a composition here. So I've made a draft here in scale. I'm trying to figure out how this is going to look like. So here we have the finished sketch. It's very green, which I like. Very positive color, this particular green. And the next step is going to be transferring it to a large-scale stencil. And then I'm going to take the paper stencils to the enamel company and make the actual stencils. The way I work is that I cover the entire pre-enameled cream white surface with self-adhesive paper from a roll. And usually I just make the drawing directly on that paper. And the 6-part piece I'm working on now, I'm going to work in a more efficient way, and I'm going to prepare stencils for the stencils. So I'm going to have these simple brown paper stencils that I'm going to put on top of the self-adhesive paper. And then in the next step, I cut them out and remove the bits that need to be covered in the vitreous enamel material itself. The cutout stencils are being covered in a spraying cabin. Then it's being sprayed. It's sort of like a half liquid material. It's about as thick as cream, and it's being sprayed with an airbrush pistol. And then it needs to dry. Then I can remove the stencils and correct some little mistakes or so. And then it needs to dry properly, and then it can go to the kiln. So here we have one of my large-scale works. This is 1.80 meters by 1.40 meters. This is the biggest size vitreous enamel I've ever done. This is pretty much the limit of the kiln. And this is a rather complicated one because I also have these sort of half-invisible lines underneath here. The 6-part work will have to go to the kiln 4 times. Once for the black foundation. The first layer that's being fired onto the steel is always black, blackish, like a foundation enamel. So we have this on the back and on the front. Then the next layer is this cream white. And then we're going to add 2 layers of this highly transparent and highly glossy green. You can see clearly how these 3 shapes overlap. So the first green layer is these 2 shapes. And then it needs to go through a kiln at about 900 something degrees. And then the next and the last layer, the 4th layer, is this shape. I suppose it has been in the kiln 6 times. You can see all these sort of hidden lines in here. So this means up until this stage, I had 1 black layer, 1 white layer, a second white layer, then on top of that, green, and this half-transparent layer here. It's an instrument. The sound is quite impressive. When I want to bring an enamel on the wall, it's pretty easy actually. I can just put them on hooks. But the tricky bit is that the larger scale enamels, they tend to twist and bend a little bit because there's so many layers of enamel and it builds up tension. And so when I put them on hooks, one of the lower corners will come out from the wall. And so to fix that, to have it properly straight on the wall, I use magnets. And they're quite impressive. They can apparently hold up to 32 kilograms. And it goes like that. And the large scale works are being pulled towards the wall by that magnet. So when you hang them up, first on hooks, and then you press the lower corners to the wall, and it gives off a very satisfying sound. It just goes clonk, as you can hear. And it's all straight and nice.